Now we're going to talk about CSS, but first off I need to explain why you would want to use it. In this example I've set up some paragraph and some font tags. Now let's say that all of these paragraph tabs we want to be blue and to be a bigger font. So we can't just put a font tag around it and put it all bigger, because then everything will go bigger. So then what we'd have to do is we'd have to individually go into here and go font and then say size equals 5, color equals blue, and close that font tag, and then go and copy and paste that or rewrite that for every single one of these. Now imagine if you had 1,000 of these to do, or this was on every single page that you created and you've got 50 or more pages. This is going to be quite time consuming. As you can see here, even just copying and pasting, it's quite mundane. It's not the most fun thing to do, but you can see, okay, it's done. Now what I could have done instead is set that tag set using some CSS code. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo all of my hard work, and I'm going to delete that back out. So now that's back to normal, and I'm going to show you a much easier way to do that. So now we're going to go up to the head and we're going to push tab, and we're going to give it a style. So we'll say style, and we say script equals, and we'll say text slash CSS. So this tells it that this style tag is now going to be CSS code. So we close our style. So anything in between this opening style and closing style will be our CSS code. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to do our paragraph tag. So we'll indent in, we'll push P, we'll open the curly brace, we'll close the curly brace, and then we'll indent in again. Now we wanted the color, then we use a colon, not an equals, and we'll say blue, and a semicolon at the end, and then we say font size, and let's say 20 pixels. We can save that. And now what that's going to do is that's going to say that everything with that tag set of P, so all of these P's are going to grab these attributes. So when we save that, you can see that in one line of code, or one small bit of code, we've done all of that. Now let's say that we wanted this one, so this second one, to be green. What we can then do is we can do a class. So in here we're going to say P dot my green, and we open up our braces, close our brace, and in here what we're going to do is we're going to say color, and we're going to say that it is green. So then down here we can come into here and we can say class equals my green. We can then save that, refresh, and see that that's green. Now let's say that we wanted text 2 to be pink. What we could do is we could give that a class and set it up here just like this one here. So we could say that there, so we could say my pink is going to be pink, but it's not a paragraph tab. This here is a font tag. So we're going to say font, okay, and then in this font one we're going to say class equals my pink, save that, refresh, and you can see that now that's pink. What happens if you wanted to have this one and this one green also? What you could do, instead of going and creating all of these other things, you could do the third type of CSS tag, and that is a global. So what you do is you take away the tag from the front and you just leave the dot. So it just says dot my green. So now when I go to font and I give that class equals my green and save that and refresh, you can see that that's gone green as well as the paragraph. So both of them are green even though they're different tag sets because it's a global. So now you can see the difference between a tag, a global, and a class. Now let's say that you've got multiple pages that this is on. So what you could do is you could make this external. So what we'll do is we will cut this. We will go to our website folder. We'll make a new folder called code. In the code folder, we will make a new text document. We will open that up. We'll go File, Save As, and then we'll call this my CSS.css, and we will save that. Now you can call this whatever you want, .css, but for now we're just going to go with my CSS. Delete the other file. Now we can right click and go edit with Notepad++. Now if I go Control V and paste this code in, you can see that now it's got the correct colorings for that CSS code. But as it's pasted in, it's got weird indentation. So what we'll do is we'll select all of those bits, we'll hold Shift and push Tab and pull that back to the right levels. So now it looks nice. Now we can save that, and we haven't got any HTML code or anything like that in there. It's just pure CSS code in here. So when I grabbed that, I grabbed in between the styles, and we've got just CSS code in here. Now I can close that, and in the head, what I can do is I can say, right, what I want to do is I want to link to that. So I go link, and then I say rel. So for the relevance of that link is a style sheet. And then I do a hyperreference. So href equals, and where is it? So from where I am, index, so we go from index into code, and then my CSS.css. So we go code, my CSS.css. Save that. Then when we refresh this page, everything's working perfectly. Whereas if we didn't have this link here, so if we cut that out and save that, it would all go back to normal. So if we put that back in, now it's reading that style sheet again, and it's going nicely. Okay, so before I mentioned that there were three types of addressing your CSS. So there was external, internal, and inline. So now we're going to look at some inline. So let's say that we just want this one here to be red. So what we can do is in that font tag, we can say style equals, and then we can say color red. Save that, refresh, and now that is red. So we don't have to address it up here and then call a class, because we're just doing it inline in there.